So, hi everybody, I am Virendra. I lead the student vertical for Niyo. So far, more than 2 lakh students have taken a Niyo card to help them save with zero forex charges while they study abroad in more than 20 countries, right? Students from masters, MBA, MBBS, everybody is taking Niyo card today. So, it makes quite a responsibility for us to bring more knowledge to you. And so we have bought a loan expert who will give you insights and nitty-gritties on what are the most important details of abroad education loan. And this video is not just for students. I think more than students, it would help a lot of parents. You can learn from this video what are the type of abroad education loans available, who is it for, how to plan about it, and everything you can think of. And at the end of the video, you can leave comments to which we can reply to you personally. Introducing Aman from GyanDhan. Aman is the marketing head of GyanDhan and has been with GyanDhan for over a decade, I think. And I'm happy to tell you, when I was going for my master's in the US, I had an admit from Arizona State University. So GyanDhan was the company that helped me with getting an education loan. I myself rushed to 10 different banks, not getting any reply for more than 2 months from some banks I can't name. But then came GyanDhan, through which the process was so smooth. So the concept of GyanDhan is you submit one application, and as per your profile, they run this single application to 10 plus banks, and you get the best rate education loan in record time. And that is why Niyo has partnered with GyanDhan. No doubt there are special benefits if you apply for the loan to GyanDhan via Niyo, which is available in the app. So I'll give it to Aman to give more context about it.
Yeah, I think thanks, Virendra, for inviting me here and for the introduction. I think you covered it all. Just want to add that at Gyathan, what we are trying to solve is that okay, can I make it easier for the student to discover the right education loan? And once the loan is discovered, that okay, hey, I want to apply for this loan at this lender, then can I make it easier for the student? Uh, our broader level aim is how can I use tech to help students processing the loans faster and with much better experience. And 99% of the loans that we do at GyanDhan, students don't have to go to any bank to submit any documents. Everything is done online through our platform into, and we have processed around 10,000 loans last year. So that speaks about the kind of company that we built around here, and we are looking forward to the next phase of the company where we have ourselves have got the NBFC license, and we are going to start our own lending as well in the coming time.
So, Aman, these 10,000 loans would be from all parts of the country?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of it. We are an online platform, right? So it doesn't matter the student is in Kerala or Srinagar. We have done loans for every state in India, and specifically, it is for the states where the ecosystem is not well developed. For them, we are actually more relevant. Like for example, many students from Northeast they apply because a lot of banks are not there helping students with this specific abroad education loan product. So the location doesn't matter. Anywhere in India you can apply and get an education.
That's great. So let's start with the basics. What are the type of education loans available to study abroad for Indians?
So if I go on a very granular level, there are a lot of loan options, right? A different kind of loan with different kind of policies. But let's keep it simple. I'll just put it into three buckets. One is loan with property. Where you are giving some sort of collateral. Usually it is property. That's why I said loan with property. But yeah, it's loan with collateral. That's one category where you are giving a security to the bank, and basis that security they are giving you the loan.
This is the secured loan.
Secured loan, right? The second is unsecured loan. In unsecured loan, primarily you are getting the money basis yours and your co-applicant's profile. They are not going to take any tangible collateral from you like property or anything else, but they are going to evaluate yours and your co-applicant's profile, and basis that they will give you the loan. Obviously, there will be a lot of factors on which this depends, let's discuss in this podcast itself. And the third would be It is a kind of an unsecured loan, but popularly known as international loan or dollar loan, where you can get a loan just basis your profile without the involvement of your parent or somebody from your family. It's purely basis on your own profile, and that is the third kind of loan that is available in the market at this point in time.
Great. So let's talk a bit about on each kind of loan. So let's
Sure.
start with which would be the loan with the lowest rate of interest.
See, so if you are after a loan with the lowest rate of interest, then what you should do is apply for a loan with collateral at the public sector banks. That has the minimum rate of interest, and that is actually the loan that we recommend to a lot of applicants, right? When students come to us, they say that okay, which is the lowest rate of interest, and we want unsecured loan, and we ask them okay, hey, in your family, has anybody has any sort of collateral property in place? And mostly and or usually the answer is that okay, hey, I can arrange somebody in my family who has a collateral. Then we suggest them that okay, hey, why are you after unsecured loan? Because if you have collateral, then you can get a lowest rate loan at the end of the day. Uh, the
And how much
difference,
would be the difference?
right? So difference would be at the minimum 2%. So you will get usually loan with collateral at 9.3, 9.5%. Obviously, it gets changed every time there is a change in the repo rate and other stuffs. At the same time, if you apply for unsecured loan, the best rate you get is around 11% at time, and it starts from 11. If there is any deviation in your profile, let's say the college is not good, the GRE score is not good, or your CIBIL is a little bit on the lower side, it can go as high as 13, 13.5%. So the difference of minimum of 2% to or at most 4-5% in the interest rate on a typical loan size of 30 lakh rupees, it's very high. So if you're taking a loan for 5 years, it can actually make a difference of up to 10 lakh rupees in your overall cost of the education.
That's huge. Two things I want to ask in it. So, like, what are the kinds of properties accepted in a
Right.
secured loan?
Right. So as far as the kind of property, earlier used to be the case that okay, hey, banks will not accept the commercial property or bank will not accept agricultural land, plots, and all of that. And even today, a lot of lender have those restrictions in place. But I'll give you two answers to it. One, with GyanDhan, what is happening, right? Because we are working with 15 plus lenders. So all kind of property where you have the legit documents of the property, we will able to get you the loan done from one lender or the other.
So it can
So
include patte wala, khata, and all that.
right. So there are lenders. See, ultimately, for different kind of properties, bank perceive them as a different kind of risk, right?
Right.
So obviously, the entire study abroad education loan ecosystem has evolved in such a way that now lenders somewhat understand the risk associated with the profile with the kind of property that is coming in. So it might happen that there is a word called imperfect collateral. So what that means is that okay, it is not a standard property, standard collateral. There is something missing. So the risk for the for the lender is higher, and they might charge a little bit higher rate of interest. But as long as you have property with all the documents in place, commercial, residential property is acceptable. Even the plots, at times the banks or the lenders want that the plots should have the boundaries. But that is also something that we can actually look at and try to, if you don't have the boundaries on the plot, that we can still apply for the exception. But everything is acceptable. Now, one specific kind of land, which is agricultural land. Uh, Till now, the popular opinion is that the agricultural land is not acceptable, which is actually mostly true. But now a couple of lenders have come up with the loan products where they are saying that okay, hey, we will give up to 30 lakh rupees on the agricultural land, and they are trying it out. So it's evolving with time, and I can foresee that in 6 to 12 months timeline, even a lot of lenders will start giving loans on the agricultural land as well.
Oh, that's great. So then, out of this explanation, I have two questions.
Yeah,
First is, let's say I want a loan of 25 lakh rupees.
Right.
What should be the value of my property?
Right. So the minimum it should be, so two answers to it again. One is, let's say if your family is not earning anything on paper, let's say you have a shop in or your parents have a shop and you are they are not filing the ITR. That means on paper there is no proof of earning. So there, if you are applying for a loan with property, then the value of the property should be equivalent to the amount you want. So if you want 25 lakh rupees, then the 25 lakh rupee property should. But on the other hand, let's say you want 50 lakh rupees and you only have a property worth 25 lakh rupees. So then they will call it as a partially secured or partially unsecured loan. So there, then they will take other factors of the profile into consideration. That okay, is the college good? Is the co-applicant salary good enough to serve the interest? So strictly speaking, if you are applying for a secured loan with no income on paper of the parent of the co-applicant, then the value of the property should be equivalent to the value of loan. If you're applying for higher amount, then they will look at the salary of the co-applicant and the other factors as I mentioned.
And how do you qualify the value of a property? How do you decide? Like, I can say my property is 50 lakh and a random market rate is 40 lakh. Like, how do you
See,
figure out
so
what is?
there is something called circle rate, which is being defined by government. So every area has a circle rate. It's not the rate that we keep hearing hundreds of crores of rupees of properties. That's not the value that the usually lender consider. So usually every bank or the lender has a appointed evaluators or appointed lawyers. So they send whenever, let's say, if you want a property to be evaluated, then it is in the process itself. A evaluator will come to your home, will evaluate the property. A lawyer will come to your home, will evaluate check the legal angles of the documents, and then they will create a report and submit it to the lender. And the value that the evaluator is writing. So evaluator will obviously look at the circle rate. According to the circle rate, he or she will calculate the value of the land, and on the top of it, then he or she will evaluate the value of the structure, and then all civil engineering come into the picture there. That okay, how old is the building, which materials are used, renovations, what renovations were done, and all of that, and accordingly they come up with the value. So that's how the values get decided. In fact, this is one of the scenarios that happens a lot, where usually parent or the student is under the impression that okay, hey, I have a property of 1 crore rupees, but when the evaluator goes and evaluate the property as per the circle rate, uh, it comes out to be lower, 50 lakh, 60 lakh rupees. And that's where the expectation or there is a huge roadblock there, because student, because of the value of the market, considers it the value of the property higher compared to what it is in view of government.
So, in this case, so let's say I want to try a loan at SBI and HDFC
Right,
or ICICI.
right.
I want to try a secured loan. So both bank will have their own uh,
Yes.
assigned value. So there will be two valuation, search and valuation, everything.
Right. Each bank will have their own operations, and people they will not accept each other's property or each other's report on ground. But usually, what happens is, because it is being driven by rules, right? So it's not like that a evaluator is giving value of the property 50 lakh rupees, and the second evaluator will give 90 lakh rupees. The fluctuation will not be much.
But there
So
will be some fluctuation. Yes.
2-3%, 2-3% here and there fluctuation, because the subjectivity comes in the structure of the
Right.
property and how that is being looked at, that how old it is and area wise and all of that. Um, but yeah, if you want to apply for two banks, then two valuation will happen. Usually in secured loan, what happens is, at least with GyanDhan, we check everything at our end, right? And we only apply for a one secured loan application at one bank, because all of this cost money. So to evaluate your property, it costs you around 10,000 rupees approximately, depending on which bank you are taking a loan from. So why you wouldn't want to have spent two times or three times of that money for two, three different options? That's why we have actually learned all of this at our end as well. And when we speak to the students and we ask them that, okay, can you give us your document? We evaluate. Most of the loan with property, we get it done from the public sector banks, and the public sector banks, they require the documents, hard copy of the document. And that's why almost all the tier 1, tier 2 cities in India, GyanDhan representative goes to the student home, looks at the document, evaluate the document at the home of the student, and then pick up the file, then go to the evaluator, gets the property and everything evaluation done, then submits it in the bank. And that is why earlier I was saying that with us, students don't have to go to a specific bank. Other, we will come to their home if required. No, you don't need to come to the bank.
So no need of branch visit.
Yeah, that's what it is. In today's world, 60% of the students are going while they are studying, right? In their fourth year, they are sort of trying to get these processes done.
Right,
So
right.
they don't have time, right? They have to focus on their, at times they are looking at the placements as well. They have to complete their last year projects, exams, and on the other hand, working professional, they have to take leave from the offices to get all of these things done. And that's what we are trying to solve, that you don't need to do all of that stuff.
Oh, that's great. So can a student put more than one property if one property is not enough in collateral?
Yes, they can. They can. In fact, we have had cases where the parent had one property in, let's say, Delhi, and one property, let's say, in Mumbai or Indore, and they had to combine this to get the amount that they were looking for. Now, obviously, the case gets more complicated. Now, in this scenario, what will happen is that a different evaluation will happen for the Delhi property, a different evaluation will happen for the Indore property. And the bank branches, let's say I'm applying at Delhi, then the Delhi branch will contact the Indore branch and say that, okay, this is the property, get the evaluation done. Then that branch will contact the evaluator there, and then evaluator will evaluate and give it to that bank, and then that bank will send the file to here. So all of these complexities come into the picture. Obviously, we navigate all of them for the student, but then it takes time. Usually, let's say for a loan with property, the usual processing time is 10 to 12 working days after you submit the document. Now, if you come up with such complexities, it can go up to 1 month as well, because there are so many stakeholders, two cities, 7, 8 different stakeholders to be coordinated. Documents need to be couriered, come back. Report needs to be couriered, come back, and all of this needs to be coordinated.
Okay, that's great. So another question which you once mentioned, that if somebody is having a shop or
Yeah,
any business where they don't file an ITR,
right.
is there any way they can show their income proof?
Right. So these days, what is happening is a lot of lenders, because percentage of such students is quite high, where their parents are, especially as abroad education is becoming more mainstream. A lot of middle class and lower middle class students, parents are thinking about abroad education, which is a good thing for us as a country. That the access to education is increasing. But on the flip side, all of this new inclusions that is happening, their availability of documents like ITR is not there. And now banks or lenders have to figure out the alternates, that, okay, how can I evaluate, right? So, for example, in a lot of cases, let's say that happens in Maharashtra and Gujarat, there is something called 7 by 12 document, which actually is a certificate by local patwari, which sort of certifies that, okay, this is the income of the person. So such uh, workarounds are there, but all of these workarounds will only matter because banks have to go beyond their usual to get the loan approved in such cases. So all of this workaround will happen when you're going to a good college, right? Bank will not like to take a risk uh, for somebody who is going to a 2000th rank university. So there they will say that, okay, hey, if it fits in the standard operating procedure where you have the ITR, then I will approve, otherwise I will not approve, right? Whereas if you're going to a good college, let's say top 100, 200, even 300 in the world, uh, their banks are then willing to do all of these workarounds because banks or lenders inherently believes that okay, hey, this money needs to be come back via student. Whether the student or the candidate will go abroad, get the education, and get a job. After that, he or she will come back and pay this money. So their entire assumption is that the student is going to a good enough college where he or she will get a job after that.
That makes a lot of sense. So if we have to compile the entire process of applying for a secured loan,
Right.
student has to come on the Neo app, click on loan section,
Yeah.
fill up a basic form with details like name, phone number, city, and which degree they are going for.
Right.
A parent can also do that.
Yeah.
They'll receive a call from GyanDhan,
Right.
and your team will guide them with everything, right?
Right. Once the student gets connected to us via Niyo, then our counselor directly calls the student or the parent,
Okay.
and we then understand that okay, what is the requirement? We counsel them. We, as I mentioned earlier, that at times the students are biased towards taking one kind of loan from one kind of lender. Then we need to educate them that okay, hey, ultimately your aim should be saving the money. Where can you get the minimum rate of interest irrespective of what your friend has taken? Like I'll give you an example, like for any other product, for example, if you want to book a room, so you can sort of blindly trust your friend that okay, my friend has taken a room, I can also take a room there, right? Or in fact, for a more better structured product like Neo card, where somebody has taken a Neo card, other person can come and can apply, and the more or less the thing will be the same. But with the loans, the thing is that the loan depends changes for every profile. No two profile, it's like DNA. No two financial profiles are the same, right?
Right.
So it is not necessary that for one student, if let's say I am recommending SBI, maybe to the other student I will recommend ICIC, right? Depending on what is the financial profile, whether the student will be able to get the loan or not. So that all that is being done at GyanDhan, that we are counseling, we are shortlisting, and then we are saying that okay, we will apply for your loan at these two lenders or three lenders, and then they upload the documents and the entire thing happens.
So, yeah, I totally agree to that. Every financial profile would be different, right? And so it's a complex process.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's very
a person should start in advance, right?
right. So I'll give you an example, and in fact, a very interesting fact. So 45% of the students who apply for loan at GyanDhan, and we receive more than a lakh application a year, are the students who don't even have an admit. A vast majority of them have not even given IELTS or GRE or TOEFL or any other exam. Their first point is to check the eligibility. And in fact, they use GyanDhan as a tool. We have this check eligibility tool on the website, which is the entry point to our universe. And they check it even before applying or buying GRE course or giving GRE exam or IELTS exam. That okay, hey, will I be able to get a loan? Right.
That's a
So
smart thing to do, actually.
right, right. So the ideal thing is, Virendra, what should you do is check once the broader level eligibility. That okay, hey, is there any obvious red flag which I can avoid, or which let's say if a very key document is missing, and you have 10, 12 months, then you can obviously get it, apply for it and get it. Whereas let's say if you're applying for the last moment when you have to report or apply for the visa in 10, 15 days, and at that point in time you are getting to know that okay, hey, this document is missing. I have actually seen a lot of students either differing or were not able to go abroad because they were late in applying for the loan. So uh, yeah, I mean, that happens. In fact, today that happens quite a lot. That okay, I have a visa interview day after tomorrow, and I still don't have loan. I still don't have any proof to show in my visa interview about my finances because this kind of usually students are sort of poor planner. They're not planning well in advance, or they have not consulted good people who have advised them this. So the ideally you check once before getting an admit. Once you get an admit, then you start. In fact, now we are able to get the pre-approved loans as well. So we can, even before you get an admit, basis your GRE score, we can give you a loan offer letter, which in fact comes handy for a lot of students while they are applying, because a lot of university want to know the financial health of the student. So a lot of many students these days are applying for pre-admit loans as well. So I will say check as early as possible in the journey, but don't delay. Once you know that these are the 5 universities I am applying, and you applied, that day you should apply. You should start your application, and the day you receive the admit letter, there everything should be ready. That here is the admit letter. Please give me the loan. At that level of preparation is needed.
Oh, that's great. So thanks a lot for all the details on unsecured or the loan with collateral, Aman. As you said, this is the best loan with the lowest rate of interest if you have a property to be given as a security to the bank, giving you the lowest rate of interest. So yes, the students or the parent can apply for the loan via Niyo app, and GyanDhan's team will be at their service. And if you have any questions, you can mention in the comments. We'll come back with another video. So we are yet to come back with unsecured loans, dollar loans, and other questions on education loan. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Virendra. Happy to be here.